What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about the project LB7. This is the new project that we got going on. I kind of just give you a little bit of information about it. I didn't want to make the video too long, so I just kind of go over some key features on everything. But I ended up getting this truck off Facebook 40 minutes into the sale. It had just posted, and I think it was up there for like 40 minutes, and I called the guy and bought it. I told him I'd bring him cash the next day. The next day I went and picked up and bought it. It was advertised as a locked up motor, but talked him down on the price a little bit, got the truck for a really good deal, couldn't pass it up. I brought the truck back to the shop, got it. It was locked up, but we got it unlocked with some different things that we can do at the shop. Just some easy, take the glow plugs out, which the starter was bad on it, so we had to rig up the starter because somebody had rigged it up really bad. Sprayed some Kimball Midwest into the glow plug holes where all the water was sitting on top of the cylinders. It had bad fuel in it, so we put new fuel in it. Sprayed some brake cleaner into the intake, got it to spin. Well, actually it didn't spin on that. We actually had to take a breaker bar on the harmonic balancer to get it free. It was actually so locked up before we put the Kimball into the cylinders through the glow plug holes that it broke the bolt free from the harmonic balancer. So we had to tighten that back up and spin it the opposite way to tighten it to get it to spin. But we finally got it broke free, put some fuel in the truck, and got it to crank. As it was cranking, it was about 5 seconds into the crank, and I opened up the cap on the coolant, and it just shot water everywhere. So we already knew it had blowhead gaskets. That was no problem. So I started ordering everything. We got 2 new heads, a used but slightly used turbo, because the one that was on the truck, it didn't have play in it, but it was grinding on the housing, so I didn't know if there was something in it that had, because the truck had been sitting for about 2 years. So he did all that, put new heads in it, head studs, new head gaskets, water pump, bunch of block off plates, fleece caps, and different, the whole 9 yards. We just want to make sure it did. The oil pan, unfortunately, when we finally done an oil change on it after everything was done and we were ready to actually start the motor up, I took the oil plug out, and there was probably about a liter of water in the oil pan. We did 3 oil changes to actually clean up what the gunk was on the inside. That's how bad it was once we got it crunk up. It rode really good, but it was having fuel head problems. The fuel head was bad. I replaced the O-rings in it twice. So to stop that, I ordered an air dog, and we deleted the factory fuel head. After the air dog was put on, the truck drove and rode, well, drove really well, run really well. I ordered tunes for it, and whenever we put the tunes on, it started white smoking. We couldn't decide whether if it was that used turbo, but it wasn't. If it was the turbo, the oil wasn't coming out the exhaust as normal blown turbos would go. So we didn't knock it off the list, but we kind of figured it wasn't the turbo. So we just figured that it was the injectors, and also we put the truck on the computer, and there was a couple injectors returning fuel more than the other ones was. There was a couple different things, so we were just like, well, let's just drive the truck and just see what's going on with it. We actually changed the tune on it. Once we changed the tune, it kind of stopped white smoking, so we just figured it was a bad tune, which then I was going to send my tunes back off to have them looked at. With that being said, I loaded the truck up one day to go take the trash off. Then I decided to go ahead and drive it about 30 minutes to 45 minutes out of town to go pick up the golf cart bodies. On the way there, it started making some noise, and I was kind of closer to battery source, so I was like, well, we just need to go ahead and make this run. We picked up the stuff. On the way back, it was starting to get pretty bad. I actually turned the music off because we just wanted to listen to it and see what it sounded like. It sounded like the torque converter, but then we was thinking that it was the crank. The crank had come apart. We're not 100% sure. We have not diagnosed it. But when we got halfway back to the shop, they blowed a fuse for the ignition switch. And so we put the fuse in. Once we got it to actually start, once we got it to actually spin the starter would not spin the motor. So we were pretty much dialed into it is locked up. Whether it is needing injectors or whatever the case may be, we did pull the dipstick out. It looked like it had some metal fragments in it, so we were kind of just like, well, it's toast. Either way, even if it is injectors, I got a motor that I've been looking at to buy. I got a really good deal on it. It would cost me less to buy this motor that comes with the turbo injectors ready to put into the truck than it would be just to put injectors into this 252,000 mile motor. And the motor, the other motor, has 140,000 miles on it, and it is an 04. So that means I have the updated stuff on the LB7, which is 100% what I want to do. So I have ordered the motor. So I wanted to kind of show you what was going on with this truck. Oh, light come on. Yeah, so this is the motor.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Obviously, this is whenever we took because it blew this fuse right here, which is a 40. I believe it was a 40 that had blown. This is for the ignition switch. It had blown that one. We just took one out that was over here and put in there to make sure it would start. We thought it had a loose wire or something. That's why the cover's off of it. And we also we have it buttoned up, a bunch of stuff. We were actually moving all the stuff out of the way to try to figure out what was going on. But I'll kind of show you. I'll try to start the truck so that way you can see that it's not going to start. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that first time it spun, it actually kind of spun over a little bit, but of course the batteries are almost dead and it's clicking now. But when I went to spin it again, it just clicked or whatever. All it was doing for the past couple days is actually clicking, because I have been trying to crank to see exactly what's going on with it, but we're just getting a new motor. How about that? So that's pretty much the Duramax project. We do got big plans for this truck. I know we have said that on the last two trucks, but things have changed, and I just want to have a little bit of fun with it. So I'll go over some more key things that we'll talk more about the truck. But for this video, we're just kind of discussing what's going on with the truck and tell you what we're getting ready to do, which we're getting ready to pull the motor. In the next video, we'll be tearing the front end down, getting things out of the way, getting things disconnected and everything. So watch out for that. Maybe you'll learn something, or maybe I'll learn something in the process, or you see I'm doing something that I can do a little bit quicker. You just comment down below. But We appreciate everybody for watching the videos. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. If you don't like it, dislike it. Go follow our Instagram, Facebook for the business, and we'll see you in the next video.